This is Kandiss Taylor. She ran for governor in 2022 and lost. She got like 4% or something like that. And she seems to have gone over to the flat earth side of things. Listen to this.
More and more, I'm like, it doesn't make sense. So is it or not? I don't know 100%, but it's just, it doesn't make sense the other way. Now that you see it.
The people that defend the globe don't know anything about the globe, because if
they're called globe heads. Thank you very much.
About the globe, because if they knew a tenth of what Matt and I know about the globe, they would be flat earthers.
Kandiss Taylor goes on this show, this flat earth show, right? You can see it in the background, Flat Earth Dave or something like that. Never heard of him before, but honestly comical. So she goes on this flat earth show and kind of comes out as a flat earther, right? Is that, that's what I was picking up. There's more to the clip. She continues on. Late May 2023 is when this happened. Keep listening.
I can't unsee this. All the globes everywhere. I turn on TV. There's globes in the background. There's globes on there right here. Like this would be a globe if I was a normal person. Like everywhere there's globes. You see them all the time. I mean, it's constant. My children will be like, Mama, globe, 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 globe. They're everywhere. And that's what they do to brainwash. And so for me, if it is
globe heads brainwash is what you're telling me? This sounds like flat earth speak to me.
And so for me, if it is not a conspiracy, if it is, real, why are you pushing so hard? Everywhere I go, every store, you buy a globe. There's globes everywhere, every movie, every TV show, news media. Why?
Wow, dude. Okay, that sounds like she came out as a flat earther. Sounds like it clear as day to me, right? Quick interjection. I won't take long. I just wanted to tell you guys, YouTube's algorithm operates off of a few factors. Watch time, whether or not you subscribe, and whether or not you like something. So if you really want to help my channel, I would appreciate it if you guys watch the video to the end. If you don't watch it to the end, just watch a little bit longer than you would have otherwise. I would appreciate that very much. All right, let's get back to the video. That sounds like she came out as a flat earther. Sounds like it clear as day to me, right? Well, she's contesting that claim now. It's not surprising that she would come out as a flat earther. She is really close with a guy named Stu Peters. Stu Peters is, you may not even have heard of him before. He's a podcaster, and he runs this far-right extremist show, like radio show. I mean, nutty stuff, dude. He is about as nutty as it gets, Stu Peters is. He's what they call a transvestigator, believes that everybody from here to Texas is trans. If you're famous, you're trans. Michelle Obama, real name is Mike. Seriously, this is the kind of stuff he says. And he's bigger than me, like a lot bigger. And he's not even on YouTube. He has gained, I think, somewhere around 500,000 individual followers on Telegram and on podcasting networks and all over the place. Anywhere that Rumble, anywhere he can go, anywhere that allows him, he's got a massive following there, massive. And he came out as a flat earther. Again, he helped Kandiss Taylor, this woman here, with her campaign. He paid for and filmed her campaign advertisements and stuff. So he is heavily involved with her, and he's a flat earther. I would be surprised if she wasn't a flat earther based on that. Well, she came out and contested it early June 2023, decided to argue with everybody. Listen to this one.
I've never said the earth was flat. I've never said that I was a flat earther. Never, ever, ever have I said that. I did not say that globes were fake.
Sounded like that to me, honestly. I mean, maybe in the technical sense, she didn't come out and say the earth is flat. Maybe in the technical sense, she said, why? She just said, why? Why are there so many globes? Why? It's like a conspiracy. Why? Maybe that's what she said, but the implication was there. She knows what she did. And apparently, she got enough pushback from her audience on this that she reversed course. That's really surprising to me.
I never said that. What I said was that NASA taking billions of dollars every month of our taxpayer money and funding something that we do not see any progression in.
Are you kidding me? Do you have any idea? First of all, do you know what we've gained from studying space or whatever. Do you know what we've gained from NASA? We've gained an obscene amount of technological advancements. You know the strip along the road that's like ribbed so that if you're going off road, it starts to kind of like vibrate and wakes you up or whatever? That was invented by NASA. Whole bunch of stuff was invented by NASA for use with astronauts and was retrofitted or changed just a little bit to work for, everyday use, for commercial use. And on top of that, NASA isn't getting billions. I think they get $4 billion per year, which is like 1% of 1% of the U.S. budget or something. They are way underfunded. And on top of that, where do you think that money is even going? Do you think that the U.S. government is giving them like $4 billion or whatever their budget is, and there's just some guy that's like sitting there eating the dollar bills, just feeding them to him? That money's just gone. It disappears because he's eating it? No. NASA, as an organization, is spending that on the economy. They are paying employees who then get their paychecks and pay mortgages and buy a drink at a bar and buy baby clothes and diapers and whatever else. All of the money, they're not like putting $4 billion literally into a rocket ship and then shooting it to the moon and then unloading it on the moon and flying back. That's not what's happening. All the money that's used at NASA is circulating back into our economy, giving our money what's called velocity, improving our economy. So not only does the money spent on NASA lead to technological advancements, but it also stimulates the economy massively. I forget what it is. There's a metric that tells us which programs give us the most bang for our buck. What do we get the most out of? I don't remember what the statistics are, the numbers are now. Something like every dollar we spend on NASA, we basically get like $2 back in economic growth and technological advancements and stuff like that. It's the same with green technology. If we switched over 100%, the world switched over to completely renewable resources, wind technology, solar farms, electric dams, we got like the dams that spin the wheels because the water is coming through them. I forget what they're called. Hydroelectric dams, that's what it is. If we switch the world, the entire world, over to fully renewable resources, it costs about $30 trillion. That's the U.S. debt right now. But are you aware that it would pay for itself? I mean, I'm not talking the United States. I'm saying the world. We could switch the entire world over to green technology for $30 trillion, and it would pay for itself in 10 years. Because we're spending massive amounts of money cleaning up messes like oil spills and things like that. We're cleaning up the environment. Fossil fuels are wrecking everything, and they're non-renewable. Once we burn them up, they're gone. Why haven't we spent whatever amount it takes to retrofit everything to make it all green technology in the U.S., make us energy independent and everything? It's the best money we could spend. But would you be surprised to find that Kandiss Taylor stands against that too? Not just NASA, which is incredible for the economy, but green technology also, which is even better. It just blows my mind. Where's her head? Instead of supporting these industries, she's saying, why? Why are there so many globes around? Why? And complaining about NASA.
We do not see any progression in.
Absurd.
Going to space, going to the moon, going to Mars, learning more about space. There's no progression.
That's absolutely absurd. It's the most ridiculous thing out of her mouth, possibly. Maybe I should backtrack on that. She said some crazy stuff. I don't know.
We're in an economic crisis. Our whole economy is falling apart.
Not really. We were in an economic crisis. We are slowly rising out of it. Now, the real economic crisis that we're in right now is wealth distribution is completely off the charts. Like, there's way too much wealth concentrated at the top and not enough at the bottom. And that is a direct result of tax policy. But she and I wouldn't agree on that anyways. I just try to follow the facts to their logical conclusion. That's all I'm doing. So using facts.
And we're sending billions of dollars to NASA, which I now believe I hit a nerve. And it is crazy the amount of people that are conservative Republicans who are listening to the left agenda.
So the globe is the left agenda. Interesting. If you're a globe head, then you're left wing by definition. You know, I don't know if you guys knew this, but forever ago, I did this whole breakdown of this flat earth curriculum, homeschool curriculum. I bought it on Etsy. Somebody was selling a flat earth curriculum on Etsy. Dead serious. And I covered it on my channel, like, forever ago. It's on my main channel, Owen Morgan. If you want to, I go through the whole thing on there. This is just like a quick glance through. What does this unit cover? This unit includes basic knowledge of geocentrism and biblical cosmology. Why is it always religious fundamentalists that are flat earthers? Is that weird to anybody else? Laying down the foundation of our home, it will offer a wide range of explanation and exploration. Flashcards and ID poster. I think I paid $50 for this thing. And they gave me poster. This is a poster of the flat earth they sent me. Seriously. Here are supposed flashcards? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with these flashcards. And here's the flat earth model, apparently. God, it's so absurd. This is supposed to be taught to homeschool children, too, by the way. Oh, here are a couple other posters. They sent me this one and this one. I scanned the whole document in. And here's another one, a turtle with an elephant on it with a flat earth on top of the elephants. Just absurd, dude, on every level. Like, all of it is absolutely absurd. And then at the end, they have, like, a bunch of points and scriptures to back up the flat earth. Their points like the sun's light is golden, warm, drying, preservative, and antiseptic, while the moon's light is silver, cool, damp, putrefying, and septic. Sunlight and moonlight are unique and clearly have altogether different properties. What? So anyways, yeah, I covered that if you want to see it on my channel. It's just, God, dude, flat earthers are something else. And apparently, globe heads are exclusively left-wingers. Open your mind, people.
And you can try to make me look crazy all you want to. I believe in the Word of God. I believe that God created Earth for us.
Okay, and what does that have to do with it being round or flat?
To enjoy. I don't know all the things about the solar system, and I don't want to know.
That makes sense, actually. That checks out. I understand now. She is something else, dude. This is absolutely whacked out. So she continued on in this interview to make all kinds of bizarre claims after getting off the subject of the flat earth. Continue listening here. This is, again, it's early June 2023.
Do you know why there's so much media about this?
Why?
Because they're terrified of you. They're terrified because they know that I stand for Jesus, guns, and babies.
That was her campaign slogan. I don't know if you guys remember that. Jesus, guns, babies. This is her campaign van that she drove around. Kandiss Taylor. Jesus, guns, babies. In that order, presumably. She cares about Jesus, and then she cares about guns, and then it's babies. Babies are not above guns. God, she's such an absurd human being.
Jesus, guns, and babies. And they know that you love and support me. Terrifies them that the majority of the people at the convention were my supporters. The majority of the people that have been put into GOP chair positions, officer positions, delegate positions, district positions are my supporters.
That would terrify me, as a matter of fact. Unfortunately, she only got 4% of the vote in the primary. She was running against Brian Kemp for governor. She didn't even make it to a general election. Okay, she claimed that there was voter fraud against her, not orchestrated by Democrats, by other Republicans, apparently. She's running against Brian Kemp, a Republican, and lost to him by like a wide margin. Like nobody was even paying attention to her. 4% of the vote. And she believes she's like one of the most influential politicians in the world, apparently. She didn't even win a seat, to my knowledge. Or maybe she won a seat recently. I'm not even sure what seat. I think she's running for Congress now instead of governor. I'm not even sure. Anyway, maybe state congressman. It's a little bit easier to get into. Anyway, yeah, she's just absurd. Absolutely absurd. And she thinks that she's like the most influential person alive and really wants you to think that she doesn't believe in the flat earth, but she wants you to believe in the flat earth.
Terrifies them. But yet, I only got less than 4% of the vote. So why are you worried about me? Why is every article in the AJC this about the convention say Kandiss Taylor?
What is the AJC and why should I care?
Because they know how much support I have. And they know where you stand.
Who is they, Kandiss? Are they in the room with us right now?
You stand for freedom.
Right, freedom. definitely. And the flat earth, right? God, she's absurd, dude. Everything about this person is absurd. Yeah, before the flat earth was her big pet issue, it was the Georgia Guidestones. That was her big thing. She believed that this is a big monument. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, but here, this is a picture of it. Georgia Guidestones. It's one of her campaign ads that she ran. This campaign ad was funded by Stu Peters, this gigantic podcaster. Her big thing was to demolish the Georgia Guidestones. It's just a big monument that acts as a calendar and a guide to help rebuild civilization in the event of like a nuclear war or something like that. It's kind of like a Stonehenge, like Georgia Stonehenge or whatever. Like, who cares? It's just a tourist attraction. Well, she believed that it was satanic and that it stood for eugenics and all kinds of just absurd stuff. So she propagandized about the Georgia Guidestones for months and months and months, maybe even years, till the day finally came when some domestic terrorist took a bomb and placed it in between the Georgia Guidestones and blew them up. Here's footage of the person walking up. You can kind of see it if you're just listening, not watching. It's CCTV footage of a person walking up to the Georgia Guidestones, dropping something between them and running. And we actually have footage of a car leaving the scene shortly after this happened. And after that happened, boom, it exploded. The Georgia Guidestones were demolished by somebody, by some domestic terrorist inspired by people like Kandiss Taylor using stochastic terrorism to their advantage. This is just one example, this campaign ad where she talks about the Georgia Guidestones. Let's just listen to like a minute or two of it, okay? Check this out. Again, this is done by Stu Peters. That's who filmed it. Early May 2022 is when it came out.
They told us what they wanted to do. Some might even say they had to get our permission.
Who is they? Again, are they in the room with us? Oh, somebody's telling me the AJC, what she mentioned earlier, is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. It's Georgia's largest and most influential newspaper. I had no idea. Thanks for that clarification.
To at least tell us ahead of time.
Okay.
Even if we didn't believe them.
So she's flashing images back and forth. If you're just listening, they flashed an image of her with a family, showing that she holds family values. And then they show her wedding ring, showing she's married to a man, and that's important to her. It's all kind of subtle messaging. Pretty good campaign ad as far as campaign ads go. I mean, she's absolutely unglued from reality, but it wasn't a bad campaign ad. I mean, it was psychotic, but okay.
Over 4 billion people have been injected with something that took just 9 months to create.
I know, it's incredible, isn't it? It's truly amazing that we succeeded as a race of humans in creating a vaccine so rapidly and pushing it out to society with so few negative effects. Truly a testament to our knowledge as the human race. It's deeply impressive. She doesn't see it that way. She sees it as an evil thing. She thinks she's an anti-vaxxer, of course. Is it really surprising that people thought she's a flat earther too? She buys into every conspiracy theory practically. And she's showing the Guidestones now, the Georgia Guidestones.
Ask yourself why.
Why?
Back in biblical times, human sacrifice was a form of demonic worship.
No. Human sacrifice, a form of demonic worship? What's she talking about? I guess there was some kind of religion out there that did sacrifices or whatever. Okay. She thinks that people were Christians or they believed in the Christian God and they were sacrificing people?
We're still doing it in present day by killing our unborn. It's the same demons, it's the same sacrifice, it's the same sin. It's just a different time.
This is a long shot in and of itself, running for governor against an incumbent. Why are you doing this?
If we don't call things out and we don't acknowledge them and we don't take authority and take dominion over what God's given us.
You know, that word, she emphasized the word dominion. There's a reason for that. She is dog whistling to Seven Mountains Dominionists or Seven Mountain Mandate people. It's a group of people that believe that they have to take control of the government as Christian, like their denomination has to take control of the government and impose Christianity on everybody in the country, and then Jesus will come. They're called dominionists. Just for a little context on this, dominionists are usually defined by 3 criteria. They celebrate Christian nationalism, in that they believe the U.S. once was and should once again be a Christian nation. In this way, they deny the Enlightenment roots of American democracy. Number 2, dominionists promote religious supremacy insofar as they generally do not respect the equality of other religions or even other versions of Christianity. And number 3, dominionists endorse theocratic visions insofar as they believe that the 10 Commandments, or biblical law, should be the foundation of American law, and that the U.S. Constitution should be seen as a vehicle for implementing biblical principles. That's a general idea of what a dominionist is, and that's why she emphasized that word. It's all kind of propaganda that she's laying out for us here.
Take dominion over what God's given us, then we are no better than the evil ones that put it up. We've watched as people have destroyed our history.
Okay, she's showing video of people pulling down gigantic statues. Is this even in the United States? I don't know. I have no idea what we're even looking at. What were these statues of? Again, like, we're not pulling down big statues. We should be. Unfortunately, we aren't. Like, there are some statues, like of Robert E. Lee, for example, that should not be up. Why is that guy being venerated with a statue? We don't need statues of Hitler to understand the history of World War II. Germany has banned certain imagery because it's absolutely evil and disgusting, and they just teach about it in their history class. Statues of Robert E. Lee are not contributing to people's education about history.
Destroyed our history and monuments, and in their place, they have erected statues to their own gods.
She flashed a picture of the Georgia Guidestones, which, again, have been torn down because they were blown up. So, for safety reasons, they took them down the rest of the way. She's saying that the Georgia Guidestones are monuments to a false god?
They have erected statues to their own gods.
She's quoting a Bible verse here. Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. I think the reason that she quoted that Bible verse, now the whole world had one language and a common speech, talking about the Tower of Babel, when it fell, everybody spoke different languages. That was the origin of language. It's complete nonsense. It was, at best, an allegory. At worst, completely made up. But anyway, the reason she's quoting that is because the Georgia Guidestones print their 10 suggestions for how to, rebuild civilization after it's been destroyed in a bunch of different languages, like 10 different languages, maybe? 8 different languages. Okay, that's what it is. Yeah. 42,137 pounds of granite. Wow, 4 granite slabs. Crazy. They've been up since I think the 80s, maybe? Yeah, 1980 to 2022. They were 20 feet tall almost. And, some of the suggestions were kind of questionable. Some of them were obvious. I don't think it was really necessary to list these things. Maintain humanity under 500 million people in perpetual balance with nature. I think that's an okay idea if people just stop having kids because, you have a detrimental effect on the climate if you have more than 500 million people. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Yeah, not a fan of that one. I don't have to like every single thing on it. Unite humanity with a living new language. I think that's a good idea. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Good idea. Like it. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Kind of obvious. Don't even need to say it, but okay. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Again, kind of obvious, but okay, fantastic. I like it. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Again, obvious. Did we need to state any of this stuff? Balance personal rights with social duties. All right. I think that a lot of this stuff is just going to naturally arise from society anyways. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. I don't even know what that means. That's cryptic and weird. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Okay, I don't know what that means, but whatever. Again, these suggestions aren't that good. They're not that bad. Why does she believe that there's like some demonic possession happening here or something?
The New World Order is here, and they told us it was coming.
The New World Order. Another conspiracy theory. Is it really a surprise that people thought you were a flat earther, Kandiss? Really?
It's a battle far greater than what we see in the natural. It is a war between good and evil.
And now she's standing at the Georgia Guidestones. It says Executive Order number 10. demolish the Georgia Guidestones. Well, no need for that now. Your little domestic terrorist group did it for you, right? Really not a surprise people thought she's a flat earther. In fact, I still think she's a flat earther, honestly. I mean, she can deny it all she wants, but after listening to this interview with these flat earthers and after listening to like Stu Peters and stuff talk about this, I would be surprised if she's not a flat earther. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. I think this is fascinating. Just absolute nutter butter of epic proportions, seems to me. What makes people believe in conspiracy theories anyways? Good question. It's a general lack of trust in government or society that really fosters it. And there are some conspiracy theories that have been circulating for thousands of years. Like the conspiracy theory that Jews eat babies, or that Jews are like drink the blood of innocents or whatever. That's been around since forever. And it periodically moves from minority group to minority group to minority group. Atheists are the ones that eat babies, or Democrats are the ones that eat babies, or whatever. There was a formula shortage a little while back. Actually, it was late May 2022 is when this formula shortage was going on, right? And there's a pastor named Mark Taylor. He's actually very influential in the evangelical world. He's a televangelist, effectively. And he had some insight into the formula shortage and why it was happening.
When politicians go to Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, this is why they lose all wisdom. Columbia is another name for Baal, the District of Baal. They are
No, that's completely made up, but okay.
working for and under the protection of the District of Baal, whose food source is the aborted babies. Do you think it's a coincidence that they are creating a food shortage for us?
So Democrats, who were in charge at that moment in time, I think, created a formula shortage for the babies because they eat babies and their abortion came to an end or was heavily stifled, and that means they didn't have any more babies to eat. Like, this is unglued from reality in like every way.
Did they know ahead of time that we were going after Roe versus Wade? They are going after our food sources because we are going after theirs.
Beautiful.
Which is the babies.
The babies. Do you think it's also tied into this baby formula shortage? Because it's so ironic that we're talking about what you just said.
Food source.
And the food source of babies is now being cut off. It's almost like the devil is trying to starve the babies that are living to death because the aborted issue is about to be cut off very soon.
These people live in a fantasy land. But the point here is that the same conspiracy theories have circulated for thousands of years. Now, there's a document called The Protocols of the Elders of Zion. I've talked about it a whole bunch. It's a fake document that was fabricated in the early 1900s by Tsarist Russia, printed in newspapers, and eventually compiled into a book called The Protocols of the Meetings of the Learned Elders of Zion or something. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about it too much right now, but it was a compilation of pretty much every anti-Semitic conspiracy theory out there. And it's honestly fascinating. You can find every conspiracy in there. From 1902, when these were printed in newspapers. Cancel culture is in there. The Great Replacement conspiracy theory. The Great Reset. The New World Order, the Seven Mountains Mandate. Every conspiracy you can think of was in this book. It's a compilation of everything, including eating babies. People are more likely to believe in conspiracy theories when trust for government or fellow citizens goes down. It's the same reason why when there's a lot of political strife or when there's an apocalyptic event happening or a dangerous event like coronavirus, a pandemic happens or the economy crashes or people lose their houses or whatever, when something bad happens in society, zombie movie viewing goes up. People are watching more zombie TV shows and movies. It's a direct correlation between people's lives being bad and watching zombie movies. When trust for government goes down, conspiracy theory susceptibility goes up. And it's all the same conspiracies being recycled.